y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Today we're down here looking for some particular medicinal plants, and this is a small area in like a corner of our property that is growed up, and I'll leave it growed up because there's several plants here that only grows in abundance right here. Problem is the deer come in and get a lot of the good out of it. What we're looking for is Passiflora incarnata. This is what most people know as maypop. This is the plant. It is a vine that grows. The whole plant is medicinal. It's a good sedative, anti-anxiety, calming, make good tea. I will sit down in a little bit with a book when we get back home. I didn't bring a book down here with me. We just kind of, me and Brody is riding around on the buggy and looking for things. And I do want to take some of this herb back with me because what I'm going to do here in the near future is create a tea mix that I'm going to mix all the plants that I like for just a tea to drink that has some mild qualities. Now, most of these plants are not real strong, so they're not going to you're going to overdose with it, and not the plants that I'm choosing anyway. You see behind me, there's a lot of pokeberry, there's a lot of elderberry, there's a lot of goldenrod right here. I mean, there's an abundance of different varieties of plants, but we're only going to really focus on the maypop right now. It's Passiflora incarnata. Some people call it incarnita, but anyway, this plant grows this beautiful flower on it. These blooms are the best part for a tea, but if you're going to dry and store, I store the blooms separate. You can mix it all together. I just prefer to do it that way. And then the whole plant, it's a vine, you see, and it is medicinal. But now it grows a fruit on it, and you see I found back there in the clips one small fruit. The deer eat them up. The fruit is edible. It's sweetening. You can sweeten stuff with it. And I got my help with me today. So what we're going to do is probably harvest the whole plant or some of them. I'll walk you around through here and we'll look at a little bit of what's here. So I will take you back after we harvest some of this and show you or read to you the medicinal properties of this plant. Come over here. Here, you come walk around right over there. You hold the basket right over there.
You follow me.
So I'm going to cut this loose right here. This vine is growing. I pulled up. And the reason I'm going to go ahead and cut this one is because I don't want to pull the roots up because I want it to keep putting out for next year. And there's several vines here. Now, I'm not going to harvest an abundance of this. And y'all, there's a lot of these plants that I already have piles of dried. Now, the goldenrod, we're probably going to harvest some goldenrod this year. Okay, so now that it's separated from the rest of it, y'all see that is cut right above the ground. And you see it is just one long vine. Now this branched off a couple of places right here. I got some pine straw. It's got these little grabbers, like most vines do, little curly. But the whole plant is medicinal, so we'll take it home and dry it. So I'm going to fold this up. I'm trying to get the pine straw and whatnot out of it. And we're going to put that in, I'm breaking it, in Brody's basket. Hold your basket. Now, once it dries, it will shrink up tremendously. All right, let me see if I can find where this is connected to the ground. Right down here. That's why I like a good sharp knife. You see this has some, get you a close up, that's one of the prettier blooms on here. And you can see these leaves are very distinctive. I've tried to show as much of it, and you see the bugs has done got a hold to this one, but now I'm not seeing any bugs on it. As it dries, they'll usually leave. So anyway, that's probably all that we need to pick. When I'm harvesting, y'all, I normally harvest in rules of thirds. In other words, there's a third to reseed, a third for the animals, and a third for me. Now, it seems like here lately I've had problems with the deer getting more than their share. So, we're going, and I have not killed any deer on this property in several years, which they venture off the property and get killed. I'm not the only one that hunts right here around, so some of them will get killed, but the problem is it's not big bucks. It's these does that ramble around, eat up everything. And because nobody else wants to shoot a doe, they just want a trophy hunt. So I'm a meat hunter, and I'll probably have to kill some of these deer instead of killing my deer in the swamp next year. All right, we've got our basket full. And y'all, this is beautiful goldenrod, and I don't know, we not a long ways out and has a lot of aphids on it. Brody, get on the buggy. Let's put this up there. I was gonna show y'all these aphids if I could. You see on there a little green. I can tell that it's blurry to y'all. Now you can see them crawling right there. You have to be mindful whenever you picking stuff. I'm gonna walk you right back here. Brody, you stay on there. The red bugs will wrap him up. I'm gonna just briefly mention a few other plants to make sure. I know I have done pokeweed, poke salad videos. This is pokeberries. They are considered poisonous, but yet they're very edible in small quantities. You can eat like 2 or 3 berries and it not hurt you. It'd be good for you. However, if you eat 2 or 3 of these clusters, it's probably gonna make you bad sick. What they're good for is anti-inflammatory. If you're fighting arthritis, was the main common use for the rural people around here. Now, actually, I don't personally know very many people that really used them because a lot of that information was lost in the generation above me because they got modern medicine. Let's walk right on back here. So you can see this is elderberry, and the birds have got most of the berries off of them. And you see this is pokeberry. That is the difference in the actual cluster of berries. And then the leaves, red stem, that's pokeberry right there. This elderberry. And they grow in side by side right here. And you see this is green pokeberries. Green stems. So anyway, what I was walking on back here, there's some more elderberries. But you see in here, there's a lot of different vines growing. And you see this vine, very similar, but this is not maypop. See? Different leaf structure. You see how these leaves are? That is, I don't even know exactly what that is. Probably some variety of similax. And then here, I have maypop again. Or passiflora. Also called passion flower. Now right here we've got a lot of this, what I know is hoary mountain mint. I've heard some people call it some other varieties of mint, but it is mint. Square stem, but it turns white at the top. See how white that's turning? Very good flavored mint. If you like mint flavor, that is some fine mint. It's strong. Here's another passion flower. That is what it is actually called, a passion flower. Maypop. I'm looking for the one I found back here that had the fruit on it. Here it is, right here. See it hanging out for me? This is what the fruit on it looks like. They get a good bit larger than that. They get almost to baseball size, but you can see right here where it has been bit off. The deer, you hard pressed to actually find any fruit, and you see what kind of a jungle we're in. And there's somewhat of a slight trail right through there, but I have not been in here and cleaned any of this out. I'm finna walk back through here a little bit. You see lots of these, some more passion here. I've got a good bit of it growing here, so there's plenty for me to harvest. A lot of goldenrod. That is, goldenrod is Solidago canadensis, this variety right here, poison hemlock. So I come back here looking to see if I could find any of my lobelia. I have not found any of it. It's not blooming yet is one of the reasons. There's a couple of plants that I have greatly struggled to find in my area. I find a little bit of rabbit tobacco. I really love the flavor of it for just tea. It's medicinal, but a lot of my teas I drink to keep me from drinking too much coffee. Especially in the fall of the year, I make a lot of goldenrod, rabbit tobacco, passion flower because it's calming, and the lobelia canadensis, it's the red cardinal flower. It is a calming. My deal is like when I get angry, when I get frustrated, when I'm stressed out, I need these teas to keep me from blowing my lid. You know what I mean? And I blew my lid the other day. I just got aggravated. I done had enough, and not to nobody really, or me and my wife. But I found that if I drink these teas through the day, I can deal with the pressure a lot better. So you have to figure out what works for you. It's not that, oh, I'm sick and I need this. You have to figure what helps you work in life. And I think God gave these plants to me to help me, you know, to teach me and me to learn how to utilize what he put here. Just like the food you eat, you figure out what food works for you and what don't. These medicinal plants are the same way. And y'all, this is a good medicinal plant. Okay, this is smartweed, lady's thumb. It has several different names. I looked it up right quick because I wasn't sure. I thought I knew what it was. I knew it was a medicinal plant. I have to go get books to look up all the uses. We'll do a video on that one day particularly though. Anyway, let me get out of this red bug thicket. I wanted to walk around. I'm looking. I was really trying to see if I could find my lobelias is what I was doing. I'm not going to harvest it right now. I like to let it bloom before I harvest anything. That way I make sure I'm getting, you know, the full potential. When it starts blooming, it's at its peak. I have not harvested any wild lettuce yet. I've got people asking about plantain salve. We're gonna make some here pretty quick. And then some of the other stuff, I'm looking to see what I can find. I'm walking along this branch. I see mussel shells down there. And I have had a lot of that lobelia growing right here in this area, but it has been so rain. And another plant that I don't find much of is mugwort. I have not found hardly any mugwort. So I kind of keep my eyes open for it, but once I find the plant, I then remember where I found it. I kind of know where to go back to look for it. Okay guys, I just found one of my lobelias right there. Not blooming, but I knew what I was looking for and I found it. I also found there's two right there. You see where they're growing right down in next to the water. They like wet feet. That's why I'm looking in this area. Oh, my bad, I was looking off. So anyway, you can see the deer or something has been eating on them. All right, you see these small short vines sticking up right here? I am pulling them because, and I didn't even get it. I got grass. Get a hold to it there. Because the bush hog is fixing to come through and get all of this stuff. Because it's out in the opening part, and that's why they're short. So I might as well get it. See, there's another little one. I'm gonna just pull it up. And see, I got some root. All right, we got our harvest. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Load up, Roscoe. Load up. Load up. Okay, y'all, I'm going to read to you a little bit out of two different books. I think I'm going to start with this one, The Indian Herbology of North America. This is a very good book for medicinal qualities, properties. However, it does not get much into stuff or identification. Its best attempt at identification is these kind of a picture. But good information. So passion flower, Passiflora incarnata. I don't know exactly how I pronounce it. I probably pronounce it different every time, so you can crucify me if you want to. It don't bother me. Bodily influence is what I'm going. The solvent is diluted alcohol, but it's water soluble as well. Uses: when in need of help for nervousness without pain, such as unrest, agitation, exhaustion, Passiflora is helpful. It is useful in controlling convulsions, particularly in the young, as indicated by muscular twitching, and also for asthenic insomnia in childhood and the elderly. Irritative and neuralgic pains with debility, nervous headache, hysteria, spasms such as epilepsy. When these are present, passion flower tones the sympathetic nerve center, improving circulation and nutrition to these centers. It is given by a psychomedicinalist, in the case usually placed under bromine medication. The result will be more restful sleep and feeling of freshness on awakening. Now this one, it does give you a dose. So maybe some of them it does have, I guess it depends on what plant you're studying in here. Best prescribed in tincture or tablets. Tincture of passion flower alone, 15 to 60 drops in water according to age and condition, repeated as necessary. Now let's read Southeastern medicinal plants. Now I'll link these books in the description. If you purchase this book, make sure you buy it for your area. You may not be in the southeast, you may be on the eastern woodlands, you may be in the northwest, I don't know. And you need to get a book that is relative to your area. Make sure you do that. Even with Peterson's field guides and such. Peterson's field guides are wonderful. However, there are better books. This one is a little better at identification. You see, you have these nice color photos. So, Passiflora incarnata. I'm going to just start and read right here where it says medicinal uses. This is going to be a little bit lengthy. It has a little different, same information worded a little different, probably worded a little better. And maybe I can read well enough you can understand. Contrary to what you might think from the name passion flower, it has nothing to do with sexual passion. It is a relaxing herb, calming anxiety when taken in smaller doses during the day, and inducing sleep when taken in larger doses at bedtime. It is a nervine in the same class as skullcap and blue vervain. All three were thought of as nerve antispasmodics and have been used for nerve pain, migraines, even epilepsy. Think of passion flower specifically when someone is irritable and cranky because they're overtired, that kind of late night second wind, overstimulated and not able to calm down. This is one of my favorite herbs for insomnia. It has none of the heavy or drugged feeling people sometimes get from valerian, an herb that is very popular for insomnia, yet has the odd effect of stimulating, not sedating. 10% of the people who take it. Passion flower has an affinity with the heart, both on the physical and the spiritual level. I don't know about that, but anyway, on cycle level, it reduces high blood pressure by relaxing the arterial muscles and combines nicely with motherwort for that. On a more energetic level, it opens the heart while cooling the overactive spirit. So that is the medicinal uses according to this book. So this is why what I do is I'm going to dry this herb. Now I dry a couple of different ways. The best that I have found, and I don't see if give me 1 second. These metal baking pans. This one is not clean on the inside, but get a new one or get one that you have washed and cleaned. I need to wash this one. Put this herb in it, and then you can set it. I put them in a box that I have a heat lamp in, and it dries them. The sun dries stuff really fast. It'll work. That dries it pretty quick, but I've had better luck with that. With the sun, it fades the colors of stuff, or seems to. You can hang this up and let it dry. There's several different ways to dry things. But I put them in that it's basically my brooder coop. It has a heat lamp in it, and I set that in that metal pan in there, and I can put it in there today, and in the morning it'll be dry, ready to bag up. A lot of times I bag my dried herbs and crumble them up, and then I'll put what I'm going to use into a jar. And I have a couple of different jars for this labeled with different plant on it, and I'll put this in there. And then I'm probably going to take, and last year I went ahead and did goldenrod and rabbit tobacco. So I'm probably going to mix those two. This year I'm probably going to mix this with the lobelia cardinalis. The lobelia is a good calming plant. Also mimosa. And I use the mimosa blooms, the little pink fuzzy things. We will do a video on mimosa. The problem I have is my mimosa tree died back this past year, just like my fig trees. And I don't have a lot of blooms on it. However, I can get to some trees that have some blooms. And I do think you can use the bark. I'm not sure about leaves. So we'll do a mimosa video. I already have a lobelia cardinalis video. Go back and watch that if you've not seen it. But today this is about passion flower. And I have crunched them all up in there. So the flowers have been probably destroyed. I was going to pull the blooms off. I usually keep them separate. You see what they look like now, but it's okay. Pull them down into there. Pull this out of this basket where I can see what is here. I was going to show you. This has a good common smell to it, actually. I was looking for the blossoms, the buds, right here. Okay. This is the bloom before it opens. Okay. So I will put that with my blooms over here. just one of my ways of doing this. So I'm gonna get this into something and get it drying for use. And this is a plenty for me to last through the winter. So this is what I chose to dry it. I picked all the leaves off the stems because those stems are very woody to make tea. And this is just a piece of plexiglass I have laid over that aluminum pan. I washed that aluminum pan real good. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. We'll see you next time. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.